Salutations to all our future judges. In this video, we are going to see the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. Section 3. Subordination of courts. Actually, what is the hierarchy of courts? The first and the foremost court on the top of the table is High Court. Beneath that, it is District Court. And beneath the High Court and District Court is Civil Court. And Small Causes Court is kind of equivalent to the Civil Court. And this is also under the authority, or it is subordinate to High Court and District Court. Section 4. Savings. So, the point what they are trying to say in this provision is that if the court says that a certain aspect is not applicable in the absence of any specific provision to the contrary, this will not limit or otherwise affect any special law. So we'll try to understand this in a very simple manner. The basic fact is that if there is a special law or a local law that will have absolute authority or power over CPC, if that particular special law or local law stipulates any procedure, if special law says this is the procedure to be followed, then that procedure is to be followed. As simple as that. You need not go to CPC. However, this aspect, this particular code will not affect the right of a landholder or landlord to collect or recover his rent from the agricultural land, from the produce of such land. If there is an agricultural land, he has rented that agricultural land for farming. In that case, he can very well get the produce of the land as a rent. This code will not restrict that. This code will not prevent that from happening. Next is section 5. Application of the code to revenue courts. Whether this particular code, that is Civil Procedure Code, will apply to revenue courts. That is the question. So, CPC is applicable under certain situations. When is this CPC, Civil Procedure Code, applicable to revenue courts? It is applicable when special enactment is silent. If there is a special law and that special law is not giving any procedure, it is simply silent about the procedure, in that case, you can apply this Civil Procedure Code. However, the state government has got an authority to change any law. It is an obvious fact. So, how they can do this? They can change or modify the law by notification in the official gazette. They can notify and they can make any changes and they can say like this will be applicable to the revenue courts. They can say so. The state government can say so. It can prescribe. Now, the second subclause under section 5, revenue court. What is meant by revenue court? What are all the courts which are getting covered under the term revenue court? So if there is a local law and that local law gives any jurisdiction to any court with respect to rent, revenue or profits of land used for agricultural purpose, in that case, those courts which are handling suits pertaining to these three aspects, that is rent, revenue, profits of land used for agricultural purposes, these things are covered or governed by the courts having jurisdiction. In that case, those courts are called as revenue courts. Whether this will include a civil court, the answer is no. Revenue court does not include a civil court having original jurisdiction. So now what is original jurisdiction? Original jurisdiction is the authority to entertain a suit directly, straight away. That is called as original jurisdiction. To understand this in a simple manner, if you can straight away go and file a case in a court, that court has original jurisdiction. Section 6. Pecuniary jurisdiction. In simple terms, we can understand this as monetary jurisdiction or financial related jurisdiction or amount related jurisdiction. All these are synonyms, practically synonyms in this regard. So, if there is a stipulation or there is a specific mentioning as to what extent or the value of the suit If, for example, the value of the suit is determined as say some 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs or even 1 crore, in that case, it will be determined or stipulated as to which court you have to approach in this regard. If it is 10 lakhs, you have to approach this court. If it is 20 lakhs, you have to approach this court. If it is 1 crore, you have to approach this court. It will be stipulated. When it is stipulated, you have to approach that court. This particular aspect or this particular way of determining a jurisdiction is called as pecuniary jurisdiction. Section 7 speaks about the provincial small cause courts, and section 8 speaks about presidency small causes courts. So what is the distinction between these two words, provincial and presidential or presidency? So generally, during the British era, there was a distinction or a classification of places. In presidency, generally, the metropolitan cities were governed under the word or the term presidency. Provincial related to places other than the metropolitan areas. So now they are saying there are 4 aspects which needs to be considered. If the courts fall under these 4 categories or these 4 aspects, then the following provisions will not be applicable to these courts. The first one is Provincial Small Causes Courts Act 1887. So if there is a court which is falling under this act, then the following provisions are inapplicable. If the court is falling under Berar Small Cause Courts Law 1905, then in that case also this provision is inapplicable. If a court is exercising its jurisdiction as a court of small causes or small causes court under the above said law or act, in that case also the following provisions are inapplicable. Then if there is a court to which this act, this particular procedure does not extend, in that case also, or if there is a court which is a corresponding jurisdiction similar to what we explained, the other 3, similar to that other 3 courts, if there is a court which is exercising a corresponding jurisdiction, in that case also the following provisions will not be inapplicable. Then in that case, to which areas or to which aspects this particular code is applicable. 7 subclause A. If a particular part or a particular body of the code is relating to subclause 1, suit which is accepted from the cognizance of a court of small causes court. So simply, if there is a case or if there is a suit which small causes court cannot try, it cannot take that case, in that case CPC will apply. Second aspect, if it is with respect to execution of decree in such suits, that is suits which cannot be tried by the small causes court is decided, the suit is completely disposed of by way of a decree, in that case the execution of the decree is governed by CPC. So if there is any execution against any immovable property, in that case also CPC will apply. Subclause B. The following sections, say section 9, section 91 and 92, section 94 and 95, all these 5 sections, if these 5 sections relate to attachment of immovable property, if there is an order for attaching an immovable property under these sections, or if there is an injunction under these sections, if there is an appointment of receiver of immovable property, or if there is an interlocutory order under clause E of section 94 and sections 96 to 112 and 115, in all these cases CPC is applicable. If you like the video, please do press the thumbs up button and leave your comments in the comment section. And do subscribe the channel and also share the channel with your friends. Let us join hands together and contribute for a learned society. Thank you.